Let's
Okay.
see, it says
Yep.
preparing. There we are. Hello, everybody. Sam here. I'm so excited to be doing another live video with Andre with Project Equinox. Yay. Happy
Woohoo! Good morning.
Monday.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. Yeah, so today we're going to talk a little bit about some of the information that Andre talks about in the free 25-minute workshop that he has put together for the ladies that are watching.
Yep.
And for those of you that don't know who Andre is, he is a relationship coach that really helps women understand that we're not broken. We just bought into a lie
Mm.
of certain things that hasn't worked out very well for us. And so I'm always excited to get to share his information with the world. He is my relationship coach and actually got to come to Texas last year and marry me and my man. And it was a wonderful celebration. And knowing where I was to where I am now, it wouldn't have happened without Andre. So
Sweet.
Andre,
Sweet.
I'm very glad you're here and we're getting to hang out today.
Thank you.
So I know that you have an event. I want to make sure we talk about that. You have an event coming up on Thursday, the 18th.
Yep.
At 5:30 Pacific.
Right.
And I'll make sure that we put the link for anybody that wants to join right under this video. As soon as we're done, I'll go and do that so people can sign up. It's free, a 1-hour live event.
Yep.
And you're gonna be talking about femininity as our superpower for women. And so
say it again.
Femininity is our superpower.
Ta-da. I can't say that enough. I say that every day. I say if I was a woman, I would rule the world because I understand this dynamic to a point that you ladies don't know. You don't know. Do you know what I mean? Because you have to have a male body to understand the power of what a feminine energy does to masculine energy. And all masculine men, by the way, even the ones that are soft, respond to feminine radiance. But to you ladies, you can't feel that. You don't know what it's like. You know what it's like to be in the presence of a lovely woman. But for us, it's like through the roof the goodies that come from that. It lifts us up, it lifts our spirit, it inspires us, it's like sunshine on my face. It makes me want to be a better, I there's not enough words to describe what that is. And so the idea in our culture that to be a boss babe and to be more masculine is actually where your strength is and where your power is. Well, that's where the power is for men, but that's not where the power lies to the ultimate feminine. Now, we live in a culture where you have to handle your stuff and go to work, right, and produce. And this is for a lot of ladies and my clients where the wheels come off because, yes, you all have to produce and you have to work. But if you, I call that being in a money lane, right? There's two major lane in life. You have a love lane and a money lane. And the love lane would be, building a family with kids or without kids, but typically, right, it's a husband and children. That is like the ultimate love life of natural woman. The money lane is the production lane, the competitive lane, the making money lane. And what happens is if you go too much in the money lane, ladies, the love lane suffers to the point where you can't even find somebody to date. That is like, this is taking it too far. So this is when when we talk about the culture lied to you, right? Liberation for women does not come from money, right? Liberation for women actually comes from having it all, but it's not the way that it's taught out there. So this is why I come in.
Yeah, and I think we've definitely been taught backwards.
Straight up.
It's been is backwards. And a lot of women, I think that when they hear my story and they hear how much I changed, I've been asked the question, well, so you had to change who you were to get a man? No, 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 no. I got to become who I really was. I just didn't know it was safe to be who I was.
Right. Right. But it's also through your childhood and your trauma, right? There's a lot of that, right? When you've been traumatized as a little girl, you can't trust the world, man, right? It's all on you. It falls on you. You have to create your own safety. You have to create your own safety, which is
Mhm.
like the primary thing for the feminine to survive is you have to feel safe. So you'll go into
Yeah.
making money, you'll go into protecting and providing for yourself, which is masculine, it's okay. But there's two other layers of safety that is essential for a woman to be well-rounded. It's an emotional safety and spiritual safety. So you have four levels of safety that makes a woman balanced, right? But in our culture, if you've been traumatized and can't trust and had to provide your own safety, you're living half of a life, and you're also
Yeah.
living half of a life in your masculine, which does not make will never make you happy ever. You'll
Mm.
survive, you'll struggle, you'll push, you'll lead in, you'll make it happen, but it doesn't make for a good life. I'm gonna say it again, money career does not make women happy. There's a lot of data on this, not my opinion. So there's another way, there's a more balanced way. This is where you're living, right?
Mm.
A life when you get to be all at different times throughout the day, throughout the week,
Yeah.
right? So again, it's doable, but it's not the way it's taught out there. Out there
Yeah.
is taught backwards, and by the time you wake up, some of you it's too late.
Yeah. Because if you're one of the things I've heard you say is like you don't want to be my client,
Right,
right?
right,
Right, and it's not that you don't want to help women, but you don't want to have to have gotten to the point where you didn't learn this early enough, and then you're in your mid 30s, mid 40s.
yeah,
I was in my like almost 50 when we met, and I like 50 years old and figuring out this stuff.
right.
I mean, the life that had to happen to get me to that point, that's why you are on this mission to help women learn this stuff sooner so
Well,
that they can have the life that they want. And that when you do it and when the order of operations is done, then you truly can have it all.
yep, and that's all that. That's what I call it sounding the alarm. I'm sounding the alarm. Be careful what you buy into. Be careful what you value, or you were told to value, ladies. You were told to value money, responsibility, competitiveness, fighting, pushing, building businesses. Nothing wrong with that. But in the end, like what I see constantly is over the age of 35, most women start thinking, huh, this is too much work. Huh, I don't like this so much. Huh, I'd like to relax a little bit. Huh, I'd like to have some help. Huh, maybe a good man would be a good thing to have. Huh, maybe I want a family. But by then, right, I call it your sexual market value has been compromised by 20 years. And all of that is now more difficult, both because you're older, the men who want to be married are already married, right? And the ones who aren't are, you know, not so good, most likely. Do you know what I'm saying? And also you have 20 years or so of being in your masculine, which kind of push back your own feminine energy. Again, your superpower is in your femininity. It is not passive. It is not weak. It is not useless. It's your super freaking power. So when you've been detached from that, detached from your feelings, because you have to be heady when men mode, all of a sudden nothing makes sense. All of a sudden it's a struggle. All of a sudden you can't seem to make men show up, right? The real man, the men who want to provide and protect, the traditional male that you want, don't show up because you're in your masculine energy, which is irritating to them. I'm going to say this, right? Men don't like masculine women. Hunters don't date hunters. Period. So, ladies, this is where you basically get stuck. Typically, I hear this all the time. I'm lovely. I have money. I have my own house, my own business. I'm self-sufficient. I pay my own bills. I don't know why that's a pride. Really, honestly, I pay my own bills. So you're grown up, okay? But to be proud of that in a point where, when women think I'm independent, often it goes with I'm independent of men, which makes me feel free. That's not how men see it, right? When men make money, they don't go, I'm independent of women, or I can I can do whatever I want. They do whatever I want, and what I want to do is take care of a woman and raise a family. It's an interesting double sword for
It
ladies.
is.
And by the
Yeah.
time you wake up to it and you realize you need me, somebody like me, to get you back on track, it may be too late for babies when you realize you want babies. maybe too late for the pool of men that's available. Is different. It's a bigger challenge. It's not fun. And again, you don't want to be one of my ladies because
Yeah.
you didn't pay attention. Just saying.
Yeah. So I did it. I work with women on a different scope of things,
Yep.
and I posted a video last week or the week before now, maybe. And the response I got was not what I was expecting. I didn't tell you about this yet.
No?
I just thought of it as you were talking. I had a video that said, what if you could write a letter to yourself? And by the way, your younger self, and by the way, you can, what would you tell your younger self? Almost all of the women said, don't get married.
Ah, ouch.
And I was heartbroken.
Yep.
I understand. I understand where they must have gotten to, what must have happened. At
Yep.
least maybe I don't know their story, but in my brain, I can conceptualize what that must have been for them to get to that point. But that's what buying into the lie gets us.
Yep. Yep. If you think about it, ladies, like if you're gonna make it is very, very much in the culture. That's the new fad, that's the new normal, then men are toxic, men are dangerous, you can't trust them, they're cheaters, they're liars. Okay, well, if you're gonna go with that kind of thinking, how the hell do you think that's gonna go? It's not gonna go. It's ridiculous, but it's out there everywhere, right? This is how you're raised to be afraid of men and or to be combative with men as opposed to cooperative. Because again, the stories, that's not true, but the stories are, you've you've been what's the word? At the mercy of the patriarchy for millennia, and it's finally time for you girls to get it back and get us back. Think about this. So a lot of women are combative because they're trying to get on top of men. Like there's some kind of revenge mechanism in place. It's time for us to shine, and we need to put them down. We need to put them down. Really? How's that going to work? I want to say this, right? Not understanding men does not make us wrong for being men. Period. So that is, where you want to kind of rethink it. You want to feel safe. You want men to show up, to be traditional, to take care, provide, protect, cherish, pay. Women still expect men to show up and pay. Very traditional. But for those men who are traditional, what they're looking for is a traditional woman. A traditional woman is a woman who wants to be a wife and a mom, possibly, and be, in a companionship and in a partnership with a man who needs her to support his effort as he supports her in every other way, right? It's a dance. It's a dance. But women refuse in our culture, or we're taught to not be traditional because they're better than that. And they wonder why men don't step in. Well, there it is.
Yeah.
Whoop, there it is. Whoop, there it is.
Well, then, like my daughter's 32, and she
Yep.
lived through the chaos with me, and she
Yep.
saw man after man after man not be who the man they were supposed to be. Well, that's because I was picking little boys. And so if women or kids, even young men grew up in that situation, what are they going to think about the stability of marriage and having a family and one partner? So part of it is on my generation of we didn't get healing and we did life, right? It's not
Yep.
like I can't go back and change that. Now I've done the healing work to make different choices. But that doesn't negate the ripple effect that we left
Absolutely.
in our wake.
And absolutely. And I want to say this, right? Again, if we talk about fear mongering, that's in the media, that it's in the culture, but sometimes it's from your own mother who made a terrible choice and will teach her daughters that men aren't shit because I have a client here, like, it's actually not a client, it's my son's friend whose mother made a baby, him, with a criminal that she never married. And now she's gonna raise that boy to be nothing like his dad. And I'm like, honey, like, and she's destroying him, trying to control him, right, trying to make him a girl, literally act like a girl, talk like a girl, be sweet like a girl. She completely is castrating the young man, who eventually is gonna lose his mind on her, right? Because she's trying to destroy him with a smile, trying to make him like a girl. And I said, lady, how dare you destroy this young man's life because you made a terrible mistake, making a baby out of wedlock with a fucking criminals. Excuse my French, I curse. Right? How dare you? I says, what you need to do is apologize to your son for having made some terrible choice, and then seek out some help to raise a young man to be a strong, healthy, a man with character who's going to take care of women as opposed to be treated like you were treated. But a woman, right? So my point is,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of the ripple effect, like you talk about, of the damage that your mother might have caused, your schooling, your culture, your girlfriends who constantly push this narrative that men are dangerous and you have to protect yourself from them. And if nothing else, when in doubt, you could shit on them, and it's funny.
Yeah.
Be
And it's not.
disrespectful. It's
No.
ridiculous. And how do you think, again, just think it through, how do you think this is going to end? A disaster for you, period, alone, forever. Because men will be fine. There's always, men have more options. When they get older,
Yeah.
they're actually more valuable. They have options. Just saying.
Yeah. Wow. Well, we could go on and on with
Oh, I
this
know.
all day long.
I know.
And I'm just excited that you are sounding the alarm and you're making it known that if you want a different life, you can have it. You just need to learn a few new things. And no, ladies, it does not mean you can't be who you are. That's not what it means. You actually get to become who you were created to be, allowing that feminine side to come out, because femininity is our superpower. And if you want to join us for Thursday night at 5:30 Pacific, I'll put the link below, and I hope you will join us. We will be recording, so even if you can't join us live, go ahead and sign up and we can send out the replay after. And Andre, you have any final thoughts before we wrap for today?
Be careful of who you're listening to. And it's a very, very dangerous thing. It's very hard thing to resist. I call it the cultural tidal wave, or what we consider now normal or obvious or better. If you want a traditional life, you have to act accordingly as a woman. If you don't, good for you. Go on, and we'll talk later. Just later.
Later, yeah, because it will happen.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I will see you later.
Bye, honey.